Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to explore the book Make Your Point by Bob Elliott and Kevin Carroll. This book is all about becoming more persuasive, more influential in just every interaction.
It's really for anyone who wants to improve how they communicate, right?
Exactly. So it's for everyone. And I think it's so interesting because we always hear that you only have the first few minutes to make a first impression.
Oh, for sure.
And this book is packed with strategies to ensure those minutes really count. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. The authors really drive home the point that it's tough to cut through all the noise in our world today, right? Like we're constantly bombarded with messages, and it's easy to get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, for sure.
They've coached thousands of clients, and they found that being simple and clear is actually the most effective way to make your message stick. It's not about overwhelming people with data or jargon.
Right.
It's about crafting communication that truly resonates with your audience.
And that's where the diamond model comes in, right?
Yeah.
It's this really powerful framework for structuring your communication to have the biggest impact.
Exactly. The book actually starts with this anecdote about this young PR director who completely bombed a toast because he wasn't prepared.
Oh, no.
And it's kind of a wake-up call, right? It shows us that we're all on stage in a sense, and we always got to be ready to make our point clearly and effectively no matter the situation.
It's we always have to be ready to go right.
Always on, yeah.
And it's true. I mean, I know I've definitely been in situations where I felt like I wasn't prepared and it throws you off.
Oh, absolutely. Preparation is key. But that's one of the things I love about the diamond model. It's so versatile, you know?
Mhm.
It can be used for everything from presentations and phone calls to even just casual conversations. And the book gives you this very clear visual breakdown of each segment so it's easy to grasp and implement.
Okay, so let's break this diamond down. It all starts with grabbing your audience's attention, right? I mean, if you don't have their attention, there's no communication happening.
Right. It's like the foundation. You have to hook them from the start.
Then you move on to clearly stating your main topic.
Right.
No beating around the bush, just get straight to the
Let
point.
be direct and upfront. Yeah.
But then, and I think this is super interesting, you have to explicitly address the YFM.
What's in it for me?
Exactly.
Ah, the YFM principle. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
about recognizing that people are way more receptive when they see how they personally benefit, right?
Right. Like, why should I care?
Exactly. And the book illustrates this perfectly with an anecdote about the Bronx Zoo's World of Darkness exhibit. Initially, they had a sign telling visitors not to run or scream, but it had very little effect.
I can imagine kids in a dark exhibit with animals, probably a lot of screaming.
Probably.
Mm.
But then, get this, they added a second sign that explained that frightened animals would hide, ruining the experience for everyone.
Oh, wow. So they framed it in a way that directly impacted the visitor's experience.
Exactly. And guess what? It worked. Visitor behavior changed drastically.
That's fascinating. So it's about connecting with your audience on a personal level and showing them how your message directly benefits them.
Absolutely.
It reminds me of the time when a friend of mine was trying to get her son to eat his vegetables, and she told him that if he ate them, he'd get superhero strength.
I love it. It's all about framing, finding that angle that resonates.
Exactly. So moving beyond the structure of the message itself, Make Your Point, dives into the super important role of nonverbal communication. One really cool concept they introduce is the law of reciprocity, which says that people tend to mirror our energy and demeanor.
Like the subconscious dance, you know?
Oh, yeah.
If we're projecting confidence and enthusiasm, others are more likely to respond in kind.
That makes so much sense. It's if you walk into a room with a smile, people are more likely to smile back.
Exactly. Our nonverbal cues can really influence the entire dynamic of an interaction.
It totally ties in with the idea of being perceived as both capable and friendly, which the book highlights as being super important for establishing credibility and connection.
Oh, absolutely. You need that balance.
And they even tell this story about a hypnotist who instantly transformed this shy woman's stage presence just by telling her to stand tall, make eye contact, and smile.
It's amazing how such small adjustments in our nonverbal communication can have such a huge impact on how we're perceived, right?
It really is. So it's
Yeah.
even if you're not feeling confident, if you project those cues, you'll start to feel more confident.
You can kind of trick your brain into it. Yeah, it's like faking it till you make it, but with body language.
I like that. And then there's this idea of the positive energy scale, which I think is so brilliant. It's this tool the book uses to illustrate how much our energy level influences others.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And it ranges from bad day to in the zone with vivid examples like that soup Nazi from Seinfeld representing low energy,
Oh, yeah. I remember him.
engaging talk show hosts embodying high energy. We've all encountered those bad day communicators, right? The ones who just like drain the energy out of the room.
Ugh, yeah, you can just feel the negativity.
But then you have those people who light up a room with their energy.
Exactly. It's contagious. And then when
Yeah,
you think about those like charismatic speakers who just command attention, it's because they've mastered the art of projecting that in the zone energy.
it's true. They're captivating. Speaking of energy, one of the quickest ways to zap all the energy out of a room is to overwhelm your audience with information. The book calls this a data dump, and it's a recipe for disaster.
Data dumps are the worst.
I love the story they share about this conference attendee who got so bored during a presentation that he started poking a pencil into the projector fan and eventually snapped it in half.
Oh, no. That's hilarious, but also like a cautionary tale. It shows just how important it is to keep our communication engaging and relevant.
Absolutely. And to resist the urge to just like vomit information onto our audience.
Right. Instead of data dumping, we need to find ways to deliver information that actually resonates and sticks with them.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, the book suggests connecting data to the listener's world, telling stories, and adding what they call sizzle.
Sizzle.
Yeah, sizzle. It's about using things like analogies and surprising statistics to make the information more memorable.
So it's about taking those dry facts and figures and bringing them to life, making them relatable.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's switch gears a bit and talk about handling questions effectively. I really like this analogy they use. They compare it to being a hockey goalie.
Oh, that's a good one.
They say that instead of being on the defensive, constantly trying to block shots, we need to take a more confident and proactive approach to questions.
Like you're playing offense instead of defense.
Exactly. It's about owning the Q&A session and steering the conversation with finesse.
And Make Your Point
Yeah.
introduces this technique called bridging, which is all about using specific phrases to gracefully redirect the conversation back to your main points.
Oh, that's interesting. So even if someone asks a question that kind of throws you off, you can use bridging to steer it back in the direction you want to go.
Exactly. It's a way to maintain control and ensure that your message stays on track.
That's brilliant. And the book also stresses the power of headlining your answers.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's basically starting with the conclusion first, just like a compelling newspaper headline.
Get to the point.
Exactly. It makes the information clear and concise.
And it helps your listeners grasp the essence of your response immediately without having to wade through a bunch of details.
Now, before we move on, I want to touch on a point that really resonated with me, the importance of authenticity in communication.
Oh, that's huge.
Make your point. Cautions against fabricating answers or presenting information that's not entirely accurate. It's a reminder that credibility is paramount, right? Like, if you lose your audience's trust, it's game over.
Totally agree. Honesty and transparency are absolutely essential for building trust and establishing genuine connections with your audience.
Right, because if you try to bluff your way through something, people can usually sense it.
They can smell it a mile away. And the book has a great example of this, involving a spokesperson for a chemical company.
Oh.
He was asked about the potential health risks associated with a gasoline additive.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of addressing the question directly, he tried to deflect by mentioning a price increase in gasoline.
Oh, no. That's like the worst possible response.
It totally backfired. It just highlighted the importance of clear, honest communication. So yeah, authenticity is key.
It's a reminder that we need to own our expertise and admit when we don't have all the answers.
Right. It's okay to say, I don't know, but I'll find out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I know you've worked with tons of individuals and organizations on their communication strategies. What are some of the most common challenges you see people face when it comes to handling questions effectively?
Well, I'd say one of the biggest hurdles is the tendency to get defensive, especially when faced with tough or critical questions.
Yeah, it's natural to want to protect our ideas and positions.
Right. Right. But that defensiveness can actually undermine our credibility and create unnecessary tension.
So instead of reacting defensively, what should we do?
Well, Make Your Point encourages a more composed and proactive approach.
Okay.
It's about really listening, acknowledging the other person's concerns, and responding thoughtfully rather than reactively.
So shifting from that hockey goalie mentality to a more strategic and controlled approach.
Exactly. And it's about seeing questions as opportunities to clarify our message and build rapport with our audience.
Instead of feeling attacked, we should see them as a chance to connect.
Exactly. Questions are valuable. They show that people are engaged and want to understand.
Now, in addition to handling questions, make your point. Also provide some great guidance on using visual aids effectively, specifically PowerPoint presentations.
PowerPoint, the double-edged sword.
Right. What are some key takeaways for making PowerPoint work for us, not against us?
Well, the book emphasizes simplicity and clarity.
Just like with any communication, right?
Exactly. It cautions against the dreaded data dump slide, the ones that are crammed with information and make everyone's eyes glaze over.
Oh yeah, we've all seen those. Death by PowerPoint.
Instead, they advocate for slides that complement your spoken message, not overpower it. Think of them as visual anchors for your key points.
Oh, that's a good way to think about it. Keep it simple. Keep it visual.
Exactly. And they also stress the importance of using a large enough font size so everyone in the room can actually read the slide.
It seems obvious, but I've definitely been in presentations where the font was way too small.
It's a small detail, but it makes a huge difference. Remember, visual aids should enhance your message, not distract from it.
Now, shifting gears a bit, the book concludes with a call to action, urging readers to actively seek opportunities to practice and refine their communication skills.
Practice makes perfect.
They emphasize the importance of mobile visibility, which basically means making ourselves visible and available within our organizations and seeking opportunities to contribute and share our ideas.
It's about putting yourself out there, stepping into the spotlight.
So it's not just about being physically present, but about actively engaging and contributing to the conversation.
Exactly. It's about showcasing your communication skills and demonstrating your value.
And make your point. Also encourages readers to explore organizations like Toastmasters International, which offers a safe and supportive environment to practice public speaking.
That's a great resource.
It's a reminder that becoming a more effective communicator is an ongoing journey. It's like building a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it gets.
Absolutely. It's all about practice and continuous improvement.
Now, before we dive into the next section of the book, I think it would be helpful to take a step back and distill the key takeaways from our discussion so far.
That's a great idea. Let's break it down into 10 actionable points that listeners can start implementing right away to level up their communication game. Okay, so number 1 on our list is mastering the diamond framework. It's like a roadmap for structuring any message no matter how big or small, like from a casual chat to a big presentation. You grab their attention first, state your main topic clearly, preview your 3 main points, and then give evidence for each one. After that, you summarize everything you said and finish up with a conclusion and a call to action.
Perfect. A great starting point for crafting any message. What's next on our list?
Next up is why I am. What's in it for me? You always have to remember the listener and how they benefit from your message. Make it very clear why they should care about what you're talking about. Like in that Bronx Zoo example, reframing a message to address the listener's needs can really persuade them.
Definitely makes sense. We have to see things from their point of view to really get through to them. It's not just about what we want to say.
Exactly. Now, moving on to nonverbal communication. Always remember reciprocity rules. People will mirror, like subconsciously, your energy and demeanor, project confidence and positivity, and people will usually give that right back to you. It's like we talked about earlier. Nonverbal cues set the tone for the entire interaction.
So we need to be very aware of how we present ourselves because it really has an effect on those around us. It's like we communicate even before we start talking.
Totally. And that takes us to number 4, being perceived as both capable and friendly. It's so important to find that balance between competence and warmth. Pay attention to those nonverbal cues like eye contact and posture. Your tone of voice can really make a difference in how people see you, too.
It's about striking that balance of showing your expertise while remaining approachable so people feel comfortable.
Exactly. Building that rapport and credibility through both verbal and nonverbal communication. Okay, number 5 on our list, finding that optimal energy level. We talked about the positive energy scale, remember. We want to hit that in-the-zone sweet spot. Be enthusiastic and engaging, but not too over the top. Think of a really good talk show host.
They're so energetic, but they don't overwhelm you.
Right. They're the pros at finding that energy balance.
Now let's move on to something we all need to be aware of, the data dump. It's so easy to overload your audience with too much information. Remember that pencil-snapping conference attendee? We don't want to bore our listeners to death.
You don't want to be that guy. Instead of overwhelming them with data, we have to find a way to present information in a way that's memorable and engaging. Connect it to their world, tell stories, add that sizzle the authors talk about.
So instead of just giving them dry facts and figures, we have to make it stick with them, make it relatable.
Exactly. We want them to remember it long after the conversation is over.
Okay, now for a skill that's super important, handling questions effectively. The book says we need to own the Q&A. We have to feel confident and be proactive when answering questions, not defensive. Remember that hockey goalie analogy. We have to steer the conversation with control and grace.
We're playing offense, and one way to do that is with bridging, using specific phrases to transition back to your main message, even when someone throws a tough question at you.
So bridging is like, building a bridge back to your main point no matter where the conversation goes.
It's a really effective way to maintain control and keep your message on track. Another great tip is headlining your answers. You start with the conclusion, like a newspaper headline, so your listener immediately knows what you're going to say.
It's all about prioritizing clarity and being concise. Give them the key takeaway right up front.
Okay, almost done with our list. Number 9, practice makes perfect. You have to actively seek out opportunities to practice and refine your communication skills. Think about joining a group like Toastmasters so you can practice public speaking and get helpful feedback.
It's a good reminder that improving our communication is an ongoing process. It takes time and effort. What's our final point?
Last but not least, be seen, be heard. Take initiative to share your ideas and contribute to conversations. Remember, mobile visibility. Be present, engaged, and ready to share what you know.
Love it. We have to be active participants and share our unique perspectives confidently and clearly. Okay, so there you have it. 10 actionable tips from Make Your Point that you can use to become a better communicator.
It's been great talking through all these strategies, from structuring your message to mastering nonverbal communication and handling questions like a pro.
But this is just the beginning, right? This book is about so much more than just a set of techniques. It's about continuously trying to improve.
It really is. We should always be open to learning, experimenting, and refining our communication skills.
And we shouldn't forget that good communication is so powerful. It can help us build relationships, inspire others, and make a real difference in the world.
Absolutely. When we improve our communication skills, we open up a world of possibilities and connect with others in deeper, more meaningful ways.
Okay, so let's recap all those awesome strategies from Make Your Point and create a nice 10-point summary for our listeners. They can use this to really boost their communication skills.
I like it. Having that clear roadmap will definitely help them remember everything.
So for number 1, it's Master the Diamond. This framework will help you structure any message, whether it's a casual conversation or a formal presentation. It's all about grabbing attention, stating your topic clearly, previewing those key points, backing everything up with evidence, summarizing effectively, and wrapping it all up with a strong conclusion and a clear call to action.
Next up, we have YAM wins, which means remembering to address what's in it for me from the listener's perspective. Highlight those benefits they'll gain from what you're saying and make sure they understand why they should care. Remember that great Bronx Zoo example? Sometimes reframing your message to focus on what they need can really get them on board.
So true. Understanding their perspective is key. For number 3, it's all about reciprocity rules. Remember, people will mirror your energy and demeanor without even realizing it. If you project confidence and positivity, they're more likely to reciprocate. Nonverbal cues can really shape the entire interaction even before you say a word.
And that leads us to number 4, capable and friendly, which means finding that perfect balance between competence and warmth. You want to come across as both knowledgeable and approachable. Pay close attention to those nonverbal cues. Eye contact, posture, and tone of voice, they all contribute to how people see you.
It's about finding that sweet spot where expertise meets approachability. Now for number 5, it's all about the positive energy scale. Remember, in the zone is the goal here. Project enthusiasm and genuine engagement without going overboard. Think of those really great talk show hosts. They're so good at finding that perfect energy level.
Absolutely, they really are the masters. Number 6 is a super important reminder to avoid data dumps at all costs. Don't overload your audience with information. Remember that poor conference attendee who snapped his pencil in half out of sheer boredom. Find creative ways to make information memorable and engaging. Connect it to their world, tell stories, and add that sizzle with analogies and surprising statistics.
Take those dry facts and figures and bring them to life. Okay, moving on to number 7, own the Q&A, which means approaching questions with confidence and being proactive instead of feeling defensive. Use that bridging technique to smoothly transition back to your main points, even if someone throws a really tough question your way.
Number 8 is headline your answers, meaning start with your conclusion first, just like a good newspaper headline. This helps the listener immediately grasp the most important part of your answer and keeps things nice and concise.
Prioritize those key takeaways. Now for the final two, number 9 is practice makes perfect. Always be on the lookout for opportunities to practice your communication skills, whether it's joining a group like Toastmasters or finding other ways to get comfortable with public speaking and get some constructive feedback along the way.
And finally, number 10 is be seen, be heard. Take initiative, share your ideas, and contribute to the conversation. Remember, mobile visibility, be present, be engaged, and be ready to share your insights with confidence.
So there you have it, 10 actionable takeaways from Make Your Point to help you level up your communication skills and become a more persuasive and influential communicator.
We've covered so much ground today, from structuring your message and mastering those nonverbal cues to handling those tricky questions like a pro.
But remember, this is just the beginning. Make Your Point is more than just a collection of techniques. It's about embracing a mindset of continuous growth.
Totally agree. Always be open to learning, experimenting, and refining your communication style over time. It's an ongoing process.
And never forget that effective communication can be such a powerful force. It can help us strengthen relationships, inspire action, and make a genuine difference in the world.
So well said. When we develop those communication skills, we open up a world of possibilities and connect with others on a deeper, more meaningful level.
If you want to improve your communication and learn how to really make your point with confidence and clarity, I highly recommend checking out the book by Bob Elliott and Kevin Carroll. It's a total game changer. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep those conversations flowing.